Hi everyone, Aisha here. Thanks Nicola for inviting me to do this Facebook Live in this group. I suppose a little bit about myself. I'm a holistic therapist and I've trained in Aroma Touch, modern energy tapping, Reiki, and I'm currently studying reflexology. So how I actually got into the oils was through Nicola, and she did a class of Sick of Being Sick. So I've never looked back actually, and how I incorporate then the oils into my self-care is, I'll tell you how I do that tonight. Just a few tips. Now, I'm no experts, you might have other self-care tips, but these are the ones I use, and I just said I'd share some with you. So what is self-care? It's a big buzzword going around at the moment. Lots of people throw it here, there, and everywhere. And what it actually is, it's tiny little habits that you do every day, or try to do every day anyway. And it's to help us run at our best. Like if we're running on optimum, where our emotions are sound, our physical body is sound, our mental health is sound. And it's just trying to keep you at your best. And self-care is not selfish, it's actually essential. Whether you believe it or not, it's actually essential, because you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So I just said I'd do a few bits for you today. Like, if you think about our bodies are amazing, right? We've essentially 9 systems in our human body to keep us going. You've got your circulatory and your respiratory system. So these make oxygen and take nutrients around your body, and around the entire body, right? Your digestive and your excretory systems, like they're making nutrients available, taking them to places and getting rid of unwanted waste, right? You've got your nervous system and your endocrine system. And to me, these are like your coordination systems and the control center. You've got your skeletal and your muscular system. And this is your support, right? And this is how we're able to move, right? So, and then of course our reproductive systems. So it's all about procreation. We want to make little more of ourselves. So, but what people forget, that's your physical body, right? People mightn't realize they also have an energy body, right? And you mightn't be aware of this, but energy is everything, and you have an energy body. And an example would be, you know, if someone's behind you and they're breathing down your neck, you can actually feel that. That's your energy body feeling someone else encroaching on you. Or if you, another example would be, you'd walk into a room and someone's been fighting before you walk into the room. You can actually feel that. That's your energy body feeling that. So we have to look after that as well, because when energy is flowing in our system, everything is working right, and you're happy, and everything is in flow, as they say. Whereas if energy gets stuck, that's when dis-ease gets into our system, and it's dis-ease within your body, and you get sad, you get sick, you get low moods. So it's on a daily basis, you should really be checking in with your body. You can do a body scan, right? And there's a nice little exercise. If you're feeling out of balance, I'll do it for you now. It's so simple. But if you're feeling off balance and oh God, your head's all over the place, there's a simple little thing you can do. Just put your hands on your heart, right? Just close your eyes, and if you were like, this is me, okay? Where would you put your hands on your heart? And 3 deep breaths in. So just and that is actually a simple little tip that you can take with you and do any time of the day that you're feeling off and you want to just bring yourself back into balance, right? So I won't keep you too long tonight. I know it's Friday night and I think I've got unexpected visitors coming. But the few little tips that I do or try to do every day is like first thing in the morning, wake up with gratitude. Okay. Thank the Lord that you're alive for another day, or if you're not religious or anything, your universe, just give thanks that you have another day to live and do what you want. It's a small little thing, but it's gratitude is an enormous part of self-care. And when you're grateful for things in your life, you actually get more good things because you're sending out that vibration, and the universe feels your vibration. So it's the old saying, what you focus on grows, and what you think about you get, whether you want or not. So gratitude is a daily must, right? Well, I won't say must, but it's a daily practice. Then before I even get up, I just take 5 minutes, take stock, and literally you can sit in silence, or I actually have a little meditation on my phone that I just play. It's about 5 minutes long, and I just play that before I even get out of the room in the morning, so that it's clearing my energy and getting me set and grounded for the day. And what I also use is in the morning, I love to put balance on my feet. It's just really, it's a woody fragrance, and it's grounding. It's called the grounding blend actually, so it does what it says in the bottle. So that is my morning routine, with my little drop of frankincense under my tongue as well. And then even another self-care practice is, if you can at all, make time for breakfast. I know us women, or especially if you have kids or running to work and everything, you can be flying out the door without even a thought for yourself. But if you can make time for even a quick breakfast, it's the most important meal of the day, you know, and it sets you up. It gets your system going, like even a lemon in water in the morning before you have your breakfast, and just make time for it. It takes practice, but it can be done. Believe me. Then I normally step outside. Just step outside, take a couple of seconds, and let the light hit your eyes. As Nicola was saying, it's great to reset your body clock, and it's a nice little practice to do. And then, as we're saying, drink more water. The amount of people that, and I was desperate for this myself, not drinking enough water. And when you're dehydrated, you're actually prone to fatigue, you get constipation, you can get muscle cramps. It's literally, it's no joke. Like, you know, most people think they're sick, but they're actually dehydrated. So it just increased the water intake. And doTERRA is great. Like even Nicola was saying, you can put the lemon in it sometimes. I have lime as well. Lemon and lime actually I find is good because it balances your blood pressures. I'm waiting to try the grapefruit this month, so I'm waiting for that one to arrive. So I would definitely try that one. And I've often had a little bit of wild orange, actually, a drop in my water. It's like a really zesty kind of a kick in the morning. The other thing I was saying was, now, as you see, I'm not an exerciser, gym bunny, but find an exercise that you like and do it at least once a week. Now, I like going for a walk with the dog because you get outdoors as well, and you get, like, that's the pet appeal as well. I love the animals as well, so I'm kind of encompassing a few things there. But find something you like. Some people like dancing, go to a dance class or something like that. But something that gives you joy is great for your self-care, you know. Another tip I had was, if you can, prep your meals at least 1 week in the month, because it's time saving. And just try it for a month, just 1 week in the month, prep your meals, and just see how much time you have saved to do something else, you know. What else do I do? Oh yeah, this is a favorite for us. Us women are think we're super women, and we have to do everything ourselves. We don't, ladies. We don't. Delegate. We do not have to be superwomen. Just delegate the tasks. Like, if share out the household chores, you know, things like that. It's simple sometimes if you can actually get them to do the stuff, but it's the patience to wait for them to do it. That's what I find. But it is a good one if you can actually get help on board, and you don't have to do everything yourself. You know, that's one of the main ones. Another one that would have is force yourself to go to bed at a reasonable hour. Like, we're supposed to be getting 7 to 9 hours sleep, but how many of us are on the phones, watching the screens, watching the telly, and it's could be 12 o'clock at night before you realize, oh God, I have to get up in the morning. So it's a challenge, but you can do it. You know, set your time, as Nicola said. On the phone is great. Just put the alarm on, and yeah, it's bedtime now. And an hour before bed, turn off all the tech, as they say, and wind down. Actually, wind down. So another tip I have is a lot of us don't live in the present. We're either thinking of the past, making ourselves sad, or thinking of the future, making ourselves anxious. So if you can live in the present, and good exercise for that is to really think about something that you do on autopilot. Like, if you were to concentrate on actually brushing your teeth, like, it's a thing we take for granted, and we're just automatically, oh, yeah, it's done. But if you were to actually take the time, be in the present, and like, brushing this tooth, and just it's just practice to bring yourself into the present moment. It's the same driving to work. How many of us drive to work on autopilot? You don't even see the trees or the people walking past you, you know, and next thing you're at work and oh, how did I get here? So it's one thing that just to try and focus yourself, be in the present moment, right? Another one I have is it's take a techie break. Now, that could be hard in the start to actually turn off your phone for an hour, or have no tech on. Take a techie break. Start with an hour. If you can go a day, yay, with no Wi-Fi or anything. It's a challenge. It is a challenge for a lot of people to be able to not constantly check their phones. So that's self-care, because you're a lot of technology makes you anxious, because if you're constantly checking emails, you can get hyped up from it and tense. So it is good to take a tech break every now and again, and at least once a day, really. If you can start once a day, turn it off for an hour, and then work it up, and maybe to a week, turn it off for a full day. That's a challenge. I'd like to see who can match that. Okay. And then if you are taking a techie break, but you could use that hour to do something creative. Like, you could do baking, you could paint a picture, you can write. Like, actually, journaling is very good for self-care as well. If you've got a lot of crap going on in your system, but you know that you can't express your emotions, or it's not safe to express your emotions, you can actually write it down. And it's actually a technique I've used, and I've done it, and my kids do it as well, is they write down what's upsetting them or whatever, and burn it. And at least it's out of your system. It's actually out of your system. It's down on paper. You can keep it if you want, or you can burn it. That's up to you. But at least it's out of your system, and it's expressed. And sometimes you can't verbally express what we're feeling, but if you can write it down, you can get rid of it. Okay. What else was it? Oh yes, this was a biggie for me one time, was tidying and decluttering. that takes practice now, I must admit, and I'm still a work in progress with this one, but it's to create a space for yourself, for like a little sacred space that you have somewhere comfortable to go to switch off. That there's it's like literally creating a little sacred space for yourself, that it's your little bubble. It's tidy, clean, and it's not cluttered, because if you have a lot of clutter in your space, it's very hard to self-care around it, because it's encroaching on your energy body. Plus, as well, we hold on to a lot of clutter because of fear, and it was like, and what it cost us. But it's you need to learn to let go of that, you know. But that, as I say, I'm still a work in progress on that one, and I do it bit by bit. Every now and again, I'll start small, start with a drawer or something, next to, or the bedside locker I started with, and then I moved on to the wardrobes. And if you can get your wardrobe down to 40 pieces, nearly there, not counting your shoes or your pajamas, but it's, it makes a difference, because your space opens up, so your kind of energy expands. Then you're like, oh yeah, I can breathe again. I'm not going to be swamped with crap falling down on me if I open a wardrobe, or something sitting there for 2 years and I've never worn it. Right, get rid of it. Okay, so the other one I was going to say, oh yes, this is a big for a lot of people, is the mind monkeys and negative self-talk. How often do we criticize ourselves? And sometimes we have a bitch living inside our heads, lads, I'm sorry, language, but we do. And you just have to not believe that negative self-talk, and practice self-compassion, because if you were to treat, sometimes if we were to treat a friend the way that we talk to ourselves, you'd get a slap in the face, basically. So you have to learn to be compassionate with yourselves, and we are so hard on ourselves sometimes, it's not funny. So just a little bit of compassion for your self-care, I mean, you're doing your best, it's all you can ask, and just tell that bitch to take a hike, okay? Another one that I have is, if you can keep positive visual reminders, like if something makes you happy, like on my keys now, I actually have a picture of my kids, right? And I also have my little doTERRA, I call it my first aid kit, because it's my little travel ones that I could take 8 vials with me for in case of emergencies. So they're handy little things to, keep with you on hand, into the purse, and when you're feeling down, that you can just take it out, because love is the highest vibration, and it will actually, you can raise yourself out very quickly with the vibration of love, So carry something that you love, okay? Another one that I have is plan a daily joy. What one thing can you do in a day to make you happy? Like, is it go for a walk, meet a friend for a coffee, have a coffee on your own, quiet space if you need that, just take time for you, different things, whatever makes you happy, and visually plan it, put it in there, that it's not on the off chance. Make it a daily habit, and you do one thing every day that makes you happy, okay? So I think that's all I have. This is for the moment. So I'll wrap up with these then, and I leave you with these loving thoughts, that if you believe self-care is non-negotiable, okay? And actually, I'll give you another tip. I actually get a calendar every year at the start of the year, and I mark out, it's a physical calendar, so you can use a computer one if you want, but I get a physical calendar, and I put in all my weekends, like my training weekends, birthdays, events that I have to go to, holidays, things like that, bills if they have to be paid. But it's visual, and you can plan it out, and everyone can see it then, and it's kind of like an achievement. Then, yes, I have something to look forward to in whatever month, or and have something at least every month that yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to the cinema this day with my friends, or we're going to have a retreat with this. We're meeting up with the girls, or I have a dinner date with my husband. Yay, hint, hint. But you can start small as well. It's like self-care doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's like small steps every day. Okay, and prepare them. Prepare. Like a dream without a plan is just a dream. So just start small, but start as they say, and put it on the calendar. Okay, so that's all I have. So if you have any other self-care practices that you do, let me know. As I said, I have all the oils. I love the oils. The oils really are incorporated every day, morning, noon, and night at this stage. And as most of you are probably on them now as well. But it's getting used to how to use them and what they're useful for. And you will find, I find, as Nicola said, you are intuitively drawn to certain oils, certain times, which is great. And I found them a great support for me. So I hope you enjoyed that, and talk to you soon. Bye.